All right, we're getting ready to start spraying this. First thing you got to do is you take your masking compound. You got to shake it up real good. And it's just kind of like a chalky paint, is what it is. You just apply it with a brush. Just turn the lathe on. And what you want to do is mask the areas around the where you're going to build it up at, so that the metal powder doesn't want to stick to it. I'll just go about here. And of course we want to hit those threads real good. And you can just stop it and just kind of dab a little down in that keyway. You just got to let it dry good. Sometimes if you're in a hurry, you can just take your little torch over here and just kind of warm it slightly, and it'll dry it really quick. While that's drying, I'll show you the torch that I use. That's the old Eutectic, the Rototech style. It's an older system, but still works good. It's what I've got. Just use oxyacetylene, and these are the two powders that I use. This is the bond coat, and this will be your top coat or your buildup coat. I'm going to let that thing dry for a minute, and then you got to start undercutting it. All right, the mask compound is dried up. So the next thing you got to do is undercut it, and I usually use just a threading tool. And you got to undercut it for one, to clean up the worn area, and also you got to undercut it so that you have a little area for the spray to build up to. So I'm going to go ahead and start. I usually scribe me a couple lines of where I want to start my cut and also stop it. You just want to make sure you cover the seal area pretty good. See, it ain't cleaned it up yet. That's only 10/1000ths. back and make another 10/1000 cut. Not quite. Another 10/1000. Alright, looks like we got it that time. Alright, so that's 30/1000. Now what you got to do is cut a real fine thread in the base. I'm going to set this up. We'll do cut a 32 pitch across there. I'm just going to beat it in and just take one pass. And that's it. Now we're ready to spray. What I do is I take my little fire cloth here, welding cloth. I cover up the ways with it. And that'll keep it from blowing on there. And when I'm done, I'll pull this out and I'll actually wipe the ways down good before I move the carriage. I got my powders sitting right here on the compound, and I think we're ready to roll. First thing I got to do is preheat it. I got a temp stick of 200. I get it to 200 degrees, and once it's the temp, I put my base coat powder on, spray it, take that one off, and then put the top coat on and build it up. I got my calipers ready. I just use that to gauge how much my buildup is, and I usually shoot for 40 to 50 thousandths over my finished size, because it will draw slightly and shrink in a little bit. I got all my fans off because that does affect it if you got a fan blowing around you. there. See, it's melting the tent stick. Bond coat, along with the build-up coat. Stop and see where I'm at. Pretty close. Just a little bit more right on the end. That's it, it's sprayed. There's you a shot of it, what it looks like. So I got to turn the fan on and let this thing cool down. And when it's cool, we'll start turning it. Alright, got the shaft cooled down. We start turning it to size. 2" 439. You can see this here was that little bit of run out that I had when I was checked it with the indicator. We'll get it all blended together though. Got a little bit stuck in them threads there. I've got to try to pick out of there. You can start with a wire brush and get most of it. Got to take a little, like a little scriber, just rub it down through there and knock it out. It's 438, just about there. Need about 2 or 3 tenths to make it 437 and a half. That's not really too critical because it's just an oil seal. Alright, 437 and 5/10. I think I'm going to leave it right there. I'm going to hit the rest of the shaft a little bit. I've got to finish cleaning that out too. This pitting right in here and the darker area is because where the shaft is installed in the gearbox, they've got a relief inside there like an undercut, so this area here is never touching. It's mounted here and here when you slide it through the bore. I'm just trying to clean it up, make it look a little nicer. I don't have any 400 grit here. I ran out. I got to get some more, but you can hit this with some 400 and then hit it with the gray Scotch-Brite, and it just brightens it up like a mirror. I'm just going to hit it with my 400. finish it real nice. That looks pretty good. Alright, I still got to get these threads cleaned out, and I'm going to hit this bearing journal, polish it up a little bit too. You see that stuff it's kind of wedged in there on the threads, but that masking compound keeps it from sticking and bonding to the metal. That's pretty much it for the lathe work. I'm going to check the threads with the bearing lock nut and just make sure that it screws on there. Other than that, we're done here. I just goofed up, not on the job, but on the camera. I had the thing set on picture mode somehow. I didn't realize it, and I just totally missed filming this first milling that first keyway. So I'll try again on the other side, but I'll go ahead and show you my setup that I already showed once, but here we go again. I've got this old machinist jack underneath it just to support the outer end so that it's easier to handle in the vise. It just keeps it nice and straight and level for me. And I put some Dicom on there and scribed the two lines where I want the keyway to start and stop. And I got my new cool mist set up. Used it and it worked great. I'm using my little mini Noga to hold the wand out there where I want it. But I got to get this cleaned off, and I'm going to rotate it and get it leveled up on that fresh key there, and we're going to mill the other one. Okay, I've got the shaft flipped over, and I'm just getting ready to cut the other key. And I was just going to point out how I got it leveled up. What I did, I put a parallel. I got a thin flat parallel I laid in the bottom of the vise because the bottom of the vise doesn't go all the way across. I don't know if you can see it. I'll try. I got two pieces of 1/4 inch high-speed steel that I laid down, and the other keyway is sitting flat on those two pieces of 1/4 inch. So that assures me that this keyway here will be exactly 180 degrees away from the other key that I've already milled. And I've already got it centered. I centered the vise before I even put the shaft in there, going off of the new diameter where I welded it, and then found the center. I'm gonna get my mister set up, and we'll start cutting out of the key. Alright, I'm going to touch off and find the full radius of the cutter there. I'm using a Niagara, a 1/2 inch 2 flute center cutting end mill. Mister's working good. Alright. And these aren't full depth keys, these are a little shallow. I'm going to be going 3/16 deep. I just like to plunge a little and let off just to let it clear that chip. All right, that's 190. That's it. Those little cool misters work really good. I like it. I mean, you don't have flood coolant. It keeps the chips blowed out of the cut. Keeps everything cool. Well, that's it for the shaft repair. I got it all done. Welded in the old keys, milled the new keys, metalized this, and repaired or removed the bearing. The only things I really got left to do, which is no big deal, is just make the keys for them. Like, I got to make a new key for this 5/8 key here. I've actually already got it started. I've already got it milled down. I just have to dress the radiuses on the end to fit in there. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the two new keys here on this end. I'm going to cut two keys and radius and fit them in there. I've got to mill them down a 1/16. And this part will be done. So that's it for the well shaft repair. I do have one more piece that I got to make, and that's this one here, like I already showed you. I'm actually looking for a piece of tubing right now. I got to call this coming up week and see if I can't find me a piece of tubing, because that'll make that job go a little bit easier on me. I ain't got to drill that hole all the way through there and bore it. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching it, and I hope to bring some more for you. So we'll see you guys later.